It's a film about busking. Play a bit of everything really. Like it depends on who you're playing for. Like it could be a younger crowd, 16 to 18 out in the pubs for the first time, absolutely locked, and a lot of them would want, you know, your typical sing-along music, Oasis, the Beatles, stuff like that. The older crowd would look for like Tin Lizzy and like older rock and stuff, Lynyrd Skynyrd. But I mean, you can literally be asked anything. You get asked all the singer-songwriter stuff, Damien Dempsey, Paddy Casey, all guys, a lot of them who started out as buskers as well. But then every now and again, someone will come along and ask you for a song, say like, when I was 14, the big music was grunge. So I'm big into Nirvana still, probably now even. And if I get asked to play a Nirvana song, I'm so happy because that's my favourite stuff to play. But that only happens once in a while, and you'd nearly do that for free. I think the most fun stuff to play is anything that stops a crowd of people and gets them all singing along. It's moments like that you do it for. You don't go out there always for the money. Sometimes you might not be stuck for money one week and you just go out just to see, you know, the way people react to you. I might have written a new song and I'll test it out when I'm busking. And if people stop and give me money for it and ask who wrote it, then I know it's got potential as a song. So it's also a good place to, you know, test your own stuff, as well as to make money off other people's music, you know, without having to pay them royalties. It's like a love-hate relationship I have with it at this stage, because I've been doing it 20 years on and off, like in between jobs, you know, in between going to college, sometimes while going to college, because it's better than a part-time job. Or at least it was, up until a few years ago. I had a period in my life where I was very down on my luck and I had no musical instruments at all. I didn't even have a little electronic keyboard to mess around with or a harmonica to play or anything. During those few months, I'd had to sell up a lot of my old instruments because I was under huge financial strain at the time. I pawned that one, which I have for 20 years. It's the first guitar I ever bought. But I got it back, thank God. The rest of it was all gone out of the pawn shop when I went back, but I got that back. Your man couldn't sell that. When I eventually went back and got it, it was like, you hear war veterans, when they've lost a leg, talking about phantom pain. They're scratching the leg that's not there anymore, and they'd swear blind the itch is there. And that's what I felt like when I got the guitar back. I felt like a limb that I'd been missing for months had been given back to me. I made a decision when I got that back that no matter what happened in my life, if I had to get rid of instruments again, or if I was forced into a situation where I had to sell up my possessions or whatever, that I'd never let that go, and I haven't let it go since. It's like an extension of my two arms, an extension of who I am as well. If you have a passion or a fire in your belly about something that you love, if you cut yourself off from that, it won't sit right with you, you know, and it's like expecting to be fine if you cut off your air supply. Or, you know, expecting not to drown if you tie a load of rocks to your legs and jump in a river. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's irrational. Your head will be working irrationally. Even at the level of busking, you really do want to please people. You want them to be walking away going, I'm glad I gave him €2. That was brilliant. When it comes to something you're passionate about, if somebody says they like it, then, you know, it's like getting a gold medal at the Olympics, I'd imagine, or something, you know? Like my dad told me when I was a kid that if you can find a job that you love doing, you never work a day in your life. And it doesn't feel like work. We have permission, like, I tell you what, it's one of my own, you see, for the film, but I'll do a Beatles one after.